Hello, everyone. Pastor DeBoer here. I'd like to spend a few minutes talking with you about the Readiness for Church Planting seminar that we have planned for April 4 through 8 of this year. Maybe you heard me talk about this last Sunday morning during the worship service, or maybe someone else just directed you to this video and you're curious, what is this Readiness for Church Planting seminar all about, besides having that long name? What do we hope to accomplish, and really, what is the point of this? There are three things I want to talk to you about relatively briefly, so hang in there and listen to each one of them and then mull over in your mind the significance of what I'm saying as it applies to church planting. The first thing I want to say about this seminar is that it's designed to recognize the differences that exist among God's people in our giftedness. So in 1 Corinthians chapter 12, for example, Paul talks about the gifts that God has given to the church. He talks about pastors and teachers and evangelists. He goes through a whole list of gifts that God has given, and these gifts are meant to work together so that the church of Jesus Christ is healthy and strong. And we want to apply that same principle to the way that we go about seeking gifted men and also their wives, if they're married, to serve as church planters in our presbytery. Our presbytery, you might know, covers the geographical area of the state of Michigan and Ontario. And in this area, there is plenty of opportunity to plant churches that honor Christ and seek to bring people to know Him. And we want to find men who are gifted and passionate about that and bring them to the state so they can do this work. Perhaps you are the kind of person who reaches out to everybody. You've never met a stranger. I can remember my dad when I was a young man walking with my dad in the mall back in the day when people went to the mall. And we would talk to people, and he would just sit down and he would chat with someone and pretty soon find out where they were born and where they were living now and all sorts of interesting things about them. It was not intrusive. He was just interested. And most people want to tell their story. They want to be known. And he was very good at that. And I have found as I have matured that I really enjoy that as well. Maybe you're someone who is like that. You're a natural connector with people. Or maybe you have a special gift in being able to sort of understand the perspective that people are coming from, what they think about one particular area of life or next. You're a great listener. And as you listen, you can form that kind of connection with someone. I mean, that's a gift. That maybe you have the gift of being able to explain something that's relatively complex and difficult to someone who just has never heard of this before. That's a particular kind of gift. And we're looking for men who have that kind of passion and skill. We're seeking to bring them to this time of evaluation and reflection in order to not only give them good feedback, but also to encourage them in this work. We want the best that we can find to be doing this. And we hope by bringing them together for this Readiness for Church Planting seminar, we can recognize and really celebrate the differences that exist in the gifts that God has given to the church. So that first. The second thing I'd like you to reflect on is the opportunity that exists for us as churches in the state of Michigan. I mentioned on Sunday morning, and I'm pretty sure this hasn't changed between Sunday and now I'm recording this on a Wednesday, approximately 4 of 10 people in the state of Michigan would consider themselves Christians. That means about 60% of people do not. That's a lot of people going around every day who do not know the gospel of Jesus Christ. They don't know the hope that's found in Him. They may live lives that are frustrating because they're looking for something and they're never quite finding it. Even among those 4 of 10 who would identify as Christians, only a quarter, a bit more than a quarter of those, so about 1 out of every 10 people in Michigan, are people who will belong to an evangelical Christian church. And that could be a variety of churches, but by evangelical, I simply mean a church that exalts the gospel of Jesus Christ. That's really the identifier of that church. So I guess what I'm saying is this seminar is meant not only to recognize particular giftedness in men and their families who might seek to do this work. It's also to say we have a great opportunity. I can't help but think of what Jesus said to his disciples. Look out there, disciples. The fields are white for harvest. We just need the workers. And I would say that in our area, there's also a lot of whiteness to the harvest. We're just looking for the workers. And then the third thing I'd like to say to you about this seminar, again, whether you're a member of Redeemer or you've come across this video for some other reason, maybe someone has pointed you to this, and you're wondering, what is the seminar all about? This is the most important thing I want to say to you. And that is, we're seeking to do this because we want to be obedient to Jesus Christ and his calling to us as a church. A church is not the same as a business. It's not the same as a political organization. The church is called to a very specific work. And it's the sort of work that Jesus said to his disciples when he ascended that would be given to them and those who would follow after them. He said that we are called as a church to make disciples, or if I can expand that a little bit, we're called to make and mature disciples for Jesus Christ. And we want to be obedient to that command, not simply because we want to be obedient people, but because the Bible says that the heaven itself, the angels in heaven, rejoice over someone who is lost and then is found. And we want that joy to be propagated in our churches, in our communities, and in the entire state of Michigan and the province of Ontario. So there you go. 3 reasons why I want you to think seriously about the Readiness for Church Planter Seminar planned for April 4 through 8. Now, if you have more questions about this, you're always welcome to ask me about them. This is something I've been working on myself for about 1.5 years, and our presbytery gave approval about 6 months ago for us to go ahead and schedule this. Or maybe you're somebody who is not a member of Redeemer, but the idea just fascinates you. Maybe you're a member of a different OPC, or maybe not a member of the Orthodox Presbyterian Church at all, and you're interested in church planting. Again, you can reach me through the details that are found in this video, or just look for our church, Redeemer OPC Ada, and you can contact me there through a variety of ways. But however you decide to do that, and if you decide to do that, you're welcome to. Thanks you for listening. Appreciate your attention and look forward to working with you and other churches in Michigan in the spread of the great gospel of Jesus Christ.